welcome to the March meeting of the North End Waterfront Residents Association. I'd just like to start by saying that we are being taped by our ever-faithful Matt Conti of NorthEndWaterfront.com. And for anybody who doesn't know this, that's not his day job. And I would like to ask if there are any other representatives of the press here. Hint, hint.
Phil Olabella, Regional Review.
Thank you. And any representatives of any elected officials?
How you doing? I'm Luigi Natali from Senator Joseph Boncore's office.
Hi everyone, I'm Alana Olson from Counselor at Large Anissa Sabi George's office. Nice to see you all.
Thank you. And any representatives of any government agencies or?
Hi everyone, Maria Lanza, Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. Mary, I have a couple of updates. Can I just go through them quick?
Sure.
Really quick guys, next week on the 14th, the North Station Area Mobility Action Plan will be hosting 2 charrette sessions focused on the Bullfinch Triangle District. The first one will be from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Causeway Restaurant, and then the nighttime session will be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Amy Lowell House on Martha Road in the West End. Definitely check that out. From the Parks and Recreation Department, the Paul Revere Mall Community Meeting is Tuesday, March 28th at 6:30 p.m. at the Old North Church, 193 Salem Street. This is to start the community process on redoing of the Prado, so definitely come and give your thoughts and inputs to the Parks Department. Summer jobs through the Boston Centers for Youth and Families. Registration started on February 25th, so you can find all the information for summer jobs from kids 15 to 18 years old at youth.boston.gov. And finally, just a reminder, as the weather gets warmer, Boston Shines, which has now been rebranded as Love Your Block, will be in the North End the weekend of April 28th and April 29th. So I hope to see a good group from NEWRA out helping us make the neighborhood bright. So thank you.
Thank you, Maria. We're going to keep our reports very short tonight because, as you can see, we have a very full agenda. For a President's report, I'd just like to say that one of the things we've been working on is a presentation on the North Washington Street Bridge, and it's been a little bit challenging getting the people in here, but in fact, it appears that there's not really going to be construction starting on that until next year. So we will be having someone probably in over the next few months, but it seems we have plenty of time. We have discussed bringing back the treasurer's report, which we always used to have, and of course the reason we dropped it is very pathetic because we don't have anything to report for the most part. So, but we are going to now go to a quarterly treasurer's report, which will start next month, and DeLuca, our treasurer, will be making that report. The Bylaws Committee has met, and our chairperson, Jason Aluya, is going to be reporting on that. And I'd also like to let you know that we are always looking for nominees for the Good Neighbor Award, which is actually something that remains from our Clean Streets Committee. And this is basically something that Janet Gilardi has been coordinating for us for a number of years. And it's for someone who makes a special effort to keep our neighborhood looking clean and attractive. And the fact of the matter is, if there is anybody that you are aware of who is making that effort, we'd like to hear about them. Our only requirement is that it shouldn't be somebody who sweeps in front of their place but is a bad neighbor in every other way. So that's our only screening. So in any event, if you have any suggestions, I'm happy to hear about them. And that is it for the President's report tonight. I'm going to go to Parks and Open Space to Robin Reed.
Hi, our Parks and Open Spaces Committee continues to work on our tree inventory and getting tree cages for the vulnerable trees in the neighborhood. If you do see any emergencies with trees, please use the 311 app for the city. That's the best way to get the tree problems resolved. but always feel free to come to our meeting or tell me about them, and I'll contact the Parks Department or the appropriate people. Maria already announced the biggest event for Parks and Open Spaces, which is the community meeting on the Prado, the Paul Revere Mall. It would be great if as many people as possible could show up to give your input about what needs to be changed and improved in the Prado. Our committee did write a letter to the Parks Department stating safety concerns and drainage issues, and we will definitely be bringing those up, but please come with your ideas about that. Again, that's Tuesday, March 28th at 6:30 p.m. at the Old North Church. Gardening in the Christopher Columbus Park will start at the end of April, and if anybody wants to volunteer in the Rose Garden or gardening, please let me know, and I'll let you know when that group meets and what they do, and you don't need to be trained, and we always need enthusiastic gardeners. And the next meeting of the Parks and Open Spaces Committee meeting is always the first Tuesday of the month. The next one will be April 4th, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Next here from the Digital Engagement Committee, which is chaired by our Sergeant at Arms, Cheryl Delgado.
We are looking for someone to help us design a new logo, and thank you so much, Matt, for sending me that group that we can reach out to, which I think we're going to do. If anybody has a friend that would like to contribute and help us with a new website, new logo, please contact me. Thanks.
Thanks, Cheryl. Next, we'll hear from Victor Bronya, zoning, licensing, and construction.
Well, the usual format of this report is past, present, and to come. Past ZLC meeting was on February 28th. The only item on the agenda was the Battery Wharf item, which is now on today's agenda for a vote. I have to say that my description is not entirely accurate. I don't think it is particularly troublesome, but I want to make it accurate. Where I said it has applied to the Mayor's Office of Consumer Affairs and Licensing for a live entertainment license, that's correct. And for alteration of the description of the premises license for the service of alcohol. That is not an application to the Mayor's Office of Consumer Affairs and Licensing. That's an application to the Boston Licensing Board, which is appointed by the Mayor, so it probably doesn't matter. But I do want to make a correction. So that's Battery Wharf. The other item on today's agenda is 173 Endicott Street. That was heard or discussed at the January 24th Zoning License and Construction Committee meeting, and wasn't voted on because the prior NEWRA meeting was snowed out. I have two other items well, first let me go to the next ZLC meeting, which is March 28th. The only item on that agenda so far is 57 Snow Hill Street. And Dan, that's going to be a roof deck application, isn't it? Oh, it's out. Well, I think it is. It's 57 Snow Hill Street, and if you have any questions before the ZLC meeting on March 28th, you can get in touch with Dan. Two items, previous items I want to report on. What happened? We often don't know what happened at the Board of Appeals, but one of them, 3 to 5 Quincy Court, was worked out to the satisfaction of the abutter who had issues and who had objected to the proposal at our last meeting, and we voted against it. Well, the abutter and the proponent worked things out, as a result of which the entire floor that was proposed to be added was removed. The abutter emailed me to tell me that at the ZBA hearing, the architect member, Mr. Pisani, pointed out that some of the bedrooms were smaller than code required, and insisted that the architect, Arthur Chu, submit new plans with code compliant bedroom sizes. What was not worked out was 266 Commercial Street, where Verizon wanted to put wireless antennas. That was on the ZLC committee meeting on January 24th. The proponent got a hearing before the ZBA prior to today and decided that she didn't, that is the attorney decided she didn't want to ask the ZBA to reschedule it. Well, the ZBA denied the application for wireless antenna at 266 Commercial Street. I'm surprised. I asked the attorney by email why, and I don't have a reply. But I'm extremely curious to find out why the ZBA. One expects that Verizon has what we call horsepower, but apparently it wasn't enough to give approval of the Verizon proposal. And that is the ZLC report tonight.
Thank you, Victor. I'm now going to call on Jason Aluya for the bylaw committee.
Good evening, everyone. Quick update. So the bylaws committee was formed at the last meeting. We had a meeting which included myself, Mary McGee, Jen, and Marian D'Amato a couple of weeks ago to go over and discuss the scope, priorities, and goals of the committee. What we discussed is, for our purpose, is to review and identify and update the governing rules of NEWRA, including updated references and responsibilities, align the rules with some of the covered practices that we follow here at the meetings, and restructure some of the format of the rules so we can make them much more understandable and easy to read. So one of the examples of a simple thing like that would be to update notification references within the rules to reflect the use of the website, internet, and email versus first-class mail. And the restructuring of the format, which would be more simple to understand. Some of the issues for discussion. We wanted to clearly identify the powers and responsibilities of each of the officers and redefine, if necessary, to fit current practice. Example, which Mary has already implemented, is the Treasurer financial reports, which we suggest would require quarterly financial reports and intermediate ones if necessary. So we have a president who's going right through the action list right away. Review policy of limiting officers to 1-year terms. We discussed leaving that policy for the president. We may be possibly removing it for everyone else, so other officers could serve multiple terms. So obviously, again, this is all up for discussion, but these are some of the issues that were brought up in the committee meeting. Further, just define responsibilities for monthly attendance log keeping and collection of dues, and the responsibilities of all the officers will be detailed. Secondly, we wanted to update and define the committee structure, remove references to old committees or defunct committees. We still have the Central Artery Tunnel Committee in the rules. To create or redefine standing committees in the rules and allow for the creation of a special committee that will act for a specific purpose for a period of time rather than remain a standing committee like the Central Artery Committee. We have, it has no longer we talked about changes to the nominating committee and the time frame for appointment and announcement of the nominations. Discussion around appointing the committee earlier in the year, possibly at the beginning of the summer or June, and announce nominations at a meeting prior to the elections, possibly in September, when the elections will be in October. And we're going to review and restructure some of the liaison positions. We have a business liaison that's inactive, so we'll be discussing that as well. Another issue that came up, bubbled up through the membership, is the dues. Currently they're $10 a year, and I think talking to everyone, some of us who were at some of the first meetings in NEWRA, they've been $10 since the inception of the organization. We'll be presenting some more information, but we'll have a comparison to other neighborhood associations in Boston, and obviously a report relative to the expenses, which I don't have right now, but we'll have prepared by the treasurer what the dues covers, what they don't cover, and Mary said it's not a large treasure. And just to finish up, and some next steps, obviously we welcome more people to join. If people do want to join, I'm just going to pass this around. I'm going to hold another meeting. Just put your name and email and phone number on the list. If you want to come, I'll add you to an email. The committee will meet to further review, and we'll probably produce a document, a rules package for consideration. So, I don't know if Jen, Mary Ann have anything to add, but...
Great summary.
Yeah, I don't know what we could add, but I think if anybody has any comments or questions for Jason, we would welcome that.
When was NEWRA formed?
Yeah, it was 20 years ago. This is actually our 20th year.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. So if there's a sheet going around, I'll let you know when the next meeting is. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. I think Jason's goal for some of us who have been mired in the old practices is that now that it's the 21st century, he's going to bring us into the 20th century. So that's good. We're making progress. And I have skipped over volunteer organization because Stephanie Hogue, the chair of that committee, is not able to be with us tonight, but Stephanie is always looking for volunteers for all of the other committees, so if anyone is interested in getting more involved, and if you don't have enough meetings to go to, please give me your name, and I will be sure to get you onto the list of the various committees. And last but not least, we have David Marks of Public Safety.
Good evening, everyone. I'll quickly zip through some crime stats since I have 2 months worth of stats to cover. At the February meeting, we discussed 1 robbery, 1 residential break-in, 1 commercial break-in, 2 larcenies that took place at the same address, 3 larcenies from a motor vehicle, and 1 arrest. At last Thursday's meeting, it was mentioned that citywide, Part 1 crime is down 5%. However, within District A1, which of course includes the North End, Part 1 crime is up 12%, which is mainly attributed to a rash of robberies that took place in early January, as well as some car breaks where the cars were unfortunately unlocked to begin with. So you're just asking for trouble, if you ask me. The rest of the crime stats for March, or February to March, 2 robberies of a person, 1 robbery of a business, 1 aggravated assault, 1 residential break-in, 1 auto theft, 2 larcenies, 2 larcenies from motor vehicles, and 5 arrests. As always, the public safety meetings take place in this room the first Thursday of the month at 6:00 p.m. The next meeting is Thursday, April 6th. Hope to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Very important announcement, the Friends of the North End Library, which is a fabulous group, is having their 7th annual fundraiser, March 23rd, 6:30 to 9:30 at Lucia's on Hanover Street. Tickets $45. Couldn't be a better cause, so I hope you'll get a lot of support. Thank you. Thank you.